Hey one, hey all. Oh, my voice. I don't know what just happened. But today on this episode of Philosophical Effery, I'm playing Tekken here, but I'm not really playing. I'm just kind of just working out my moves here, just to give you something to view. But I kind of want to talk about separating yourself from the idea of industry. Now, what is the idea of industry? It's the term I've coined where basically the idea of industry is this. Think of the idea of evil from Berserk, right? It is a source, not just energy, but of like life too and death. It is a source that comes from, as it claims, the men's of the world idea of evil, their fears, their sorrows, darknesses, all the things that they worry about in their heart and everything like that, right? So when I say the idea of industry, this means all the things that you kind of believe due to industry influence, whether it's music industry, video game industry, like the music industry, making you think that all these dudes doing all this double worship, which reminds me, I gotta see what they're doing in the Grammys, because I know they're getting down. All these people doing this double worship and stuff is not like not disturbing. It's not a sign of something else. And the video game industry trying to make you think that paying $70 for a game and then having to pay another $70 for the extra content is acceptable. All this kind of stuff. The idea of industry is where industries essentially tell you what to think and then you follow it. So the ideas are no longer yours, but the ideas of the industry itself. And this affects us in many ways because it really, when it comes down to, it's coming down to taking our capital. And remember, capital. I don't actually know what the complete word means, but when I hear the word capital, I hear cap it all. Cap it all. Cap is the top, on top, which is like your head, your brain of it all, which is on top of everything and controls everything else. And that's why we call money capital, because money is the new energy source, or the root of which, wherein we use it to basically do everything and to funnel and fund everything, so that's why we call it capital. And the capitals of our states, of our country, tend to be the financial hubs and sources and centers. So like not even Tallahassee, the financial hub. Basically, the capitals of states and the countries tend to be where the big decisive decision makers like come from. So Tallahassee in Florida, and then Washington D.C. for the rest of the country. And I don't think Atlanta is the capital of Georgia, but whatever. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So when I say we gotta really separate from this stuff, I mean like this, right? I'm playing this game on an emulator, Tekken 5. Tekken 5 came out about 2005, 2006, right? So all the at least for the base PS2 game, they printed all the games that they were gonna make on all the discs that they were ever gonna print, right? So there's no more of that. So if you buy a Tekken game, it's more than likely not going to be from Konami itself. It's going to be probably from another dealer or maybe your friend or everything like that. So when it comes to emulating games, I'm perfectly fine with emulating the majority of games because, to be frank, you can't really buy the base game anymore in its state, as I would say, in its most pure state, where you can give the company money for their service of giving you the game. That's why I think it's acceptable. So when I'm out here downloading these games, I'm entertaining myself and I'm providing myself the opportunity, and yes, I'm beating up these women. I'm providing myself the opportunity to get to relive my childhood, or sometimes play games that escape my childhood that I never got to play. You know what I'm saying, right? And in the way that kind of avoids the idea of industry, because now I don't involve myself with these life service models. I don't involve myself with these Anthem games. I don't involve myself with these Suicide Squad kill the Justice League type of games, these Avenger type of games. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to suffer through Call of Duty not giving us the Call of Duty games we used to get, and giving us trash with Nicki Minaj in it and everything like that, right? That's not something I have to deal with because I'm not falling into that. But this also applies to clothes as well. I haven't created my own clothes yet, but I've been playing around with stitching and sewing. My grandmother's going to give me a sewing machine soon, but right now I just kind of stitch stuff together. I try to use it to repair my harem pants and basically to alter it so I can make it fit my waist naturally and I don't have to buy harem pants. But I'm thinking about making my own pants. I'm thinking about making my own shirts, my own sweaters, some of my own jackets, and I'm also thinking about selling that. And the way that kind of is me avoiding industry is the fact that I don't like the quality of a lot of clothes, right? I don't like how a lot of clothes have polyester, and polyester is synthetic materials. High quality polyester can be just as good as cotton, and it's pretty good too. For example, Nike uses polyester in a lot of its products, almost all of its products. But as we know, Nike has a lot of good sportswear products that work well, and honestly, it works the way it does because of the polyester. And honestly, polyester and synthetic products is basically how we are able to have a lot of the athleisure products that we do, right? But on that same token, I prefer my shirts to be 100% cotton. There's a certain vibration in 100% cotton that I need, and I also prefer my sweaters to be that way. I prefer my pants to be that way too, especially because since I only wear harem pants, I want real materials. I want good materials. I don't want to just accept anything. And if you think about it, a lot of these, if we keep it real, a lot of these companies, we know what they do when they build their clothes. We know about the sweatshops. We know about them. We've been knowing about them for years. And all the big companies use them. I love Uniqlo's clothes and everything too. They got simple stuff and they got 100% cashmere stuff too and everything like that. But come on, let's be real. Even if they tell us they don't, we know these motherfuckers using those sweatshops. We know they putting them Abuelos to work. We know they putting them Obasans to work. It's bad out there. I don't want to support that. I'd rather build my own clothes. I'd rather buy clothes from other people, one-to-one sources. I'd rather buy now. I'm at the point now where I just would rather buy my own clothes from another person. Because also, I want to support other people too. I'm kind of just tired of supporting companies in everything too. Clothing is one of the things I don't want to support companies in anymore because, I think really it's just because of that principle. Because, a lot of clothes, you can buy handmade from people kind of are the same as what another company can give. But, when I think about it, when I think about my clothes being sourced sustainably from another person who's just like me, just trying to make it work in life. Maybe they got themselves a little team. Yeah, but they're not, I did not know he could do that move. But, they're not out here freaking working people to death for pennies, on the clock. It's crazy how these corporations will do this to people. It's kind of evil, and it's kind of like it's like they're doing this so they can see people suffer, And then I think that when you have your clothes handmade by somebody else, it feels different. It generally feels different. I frequent this one brand called Playa London on Instagram. Just look it up, Playa London, and they make their shirts out of Turkish cotton with a lot of patterns from the Peştemal Turkish what are they called? Beach clothes. Towels, right? Which are some of these best towels, bro. These towels, they're thin, they're absorbent, they get soft. You can use them as throws. You can use them to just put on your couch to make it look good. They're so versatile. It's incredibly how versatile they are. Some of the best stuff in the world, right? I love their stuff. I bought two shirts for them. One fit pretty well. The other one's kind of tight on me because I guess they're a UK company, and I'm not fat. I'm only 5'11", and yes, I do weigh 210 pounds, but I just have a gut. That's basically what I got. And I guess that's not normal in the UK at my size. I don't know. Whatever. Ooh, I didn't want to wake up my baby. Okay, but at the same time, man, I feel the passion in the clothes. I feel the quality. It's a certain vibration there when you get those things made by someone who sweats over it, but like not in the shop. Maybe somewhere in their home, doing the same move over again. Outside with their family. A certain togetherness that we used to have as people because, in society, we used to live in communities. The kind of communities where, someone makes shoes, someone makes shirts, someone makes tools to farm, stuff like that. It's crazy, but a lot of times I think about in the past before industries were mostly a thing, where people had to depend on each other to get the things that they needed. The people in their environment and the people from other towns, the merchants and stuff like that, the traveling businessmen. The kind of things they had, man, the way they would feel, they had a different spirit, a different rock. I forgot to say, all thanks to Most High. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham. And the clothes that they had, and the materials that they used, and the food that they ate. Things are just so different now, right? We're all just, I feel like, they say we're the loneliest generation ever. A lot of times we don't think about the things that we buy, how that plays a role into it. When was the last time you bought clothes from someone and it had a note in it saying, "Thank you very much, you keeping my business alive"? When was the last time you bought clothes from someone who sourced it from their cousin back home, in their home country? And when they shake your hand after you give them that dollar, and that dollar is going back to their family. When us being so dependent on these corporations, they low-key becoming our sugar daddies. They're giving us everything. They're giving us our clothes, they're giving us our food, they're giving us our shelter now. Because a lot of companies own, well, of course companies own their apartments that we rent, but even a lot of companies own the houses that people, well, actually, of course they own the houses that people rent. They're companies. Either way, you know what I'm getting at. Companies rule over everything we have. So to beat the idea of industry ultimately comes down to having the idea of camaraderie with each other, the idea of true patronage with your fellow man. I want to do that one move where he does that like that kage bunshin, or he does like he uses a not clone jutsu, but he disappears in the air. I can't do that. I did that once. It was great. But yeah, we need to really rely on each other for our goods. And we need to learn how to make our own goods too. Like, I'm trying to make my own clothes. I want to use the Turkish cotton. And I just kind of just fantasize sometimes about giving my relatives some bathrobes. Giving my brothers a nice pair of pants. Making some socks for my sister. Like, these kind of things go a long way, and it's cheaper in the long run than buying a lot. Like, honestly, for a lot of people, they buy so many clothes, they would be better off just making the clothes themselves, right? Because you got to think about it like this. Some people buy so many clothes that, let's say it adds up to $1,000. They made their clothes. They bought like $200 worth of fabric, they probably would make as much. But again, the other part of buying, is buying preferably what you want. And some designs, you couldn't just make it yourself. You couldn't just print a blown shirt on your a blown or whatever a V on your shirt or whatever, or that dog from Ruthless Records. I don't know, bro. But there's some designs we can't just do. But I get that. But then at the same time, I think we like designs too much too. I think graphic shirts. I think those are great and those are cool and all. But man, I feel like a lot of times we kind of grow up out of that after we stop being teenagers. Like, I know I sure did. Like, I used to have all kinds of crazy ass shirts and everything like that, and I was a sneakerhead and all that. Then I grew up, and I was like, I'd rather just have a black shirt, because then I could wear this black shirt to work, and then I could wear this black shirt to work outside, then I could wear this black shirt out regularly, then I could wear this black shirt if I needed to wear it with a cardigan and look fancy. I kind of just have been thinking more about how can I utilize my clothing and everything that too. Like, man, it's like going back to it. When you when you kind of get away from the idea of industry, when you stop thinking with the idea of industry, you kind of realize that you've been living your life inefficiently. Be inefficient with your time, inefficient with your diet, inefficient sometimes even with your speech. Using slang, like, I'm okay with slang. I get it's like its own language, and language has to be made at the same time too. But I don't know. Even I like slang for being stupid. But some people speak entirely in slang, and it's like, okay, this ain't really your culture, nigga. Man, it's hard. It is hard for me to kind of talk about what I'm talking about without ranting and everything. But this is why I release like 4 of these videos at a time, because it's just me going off. But yeah, I want you guys to think about for yourselves too. What are some things in your life that you, instead of it being something where you've kind of instead of it being something where you made the selections off your own accord, it's been something where you've been mostly motivated by the industry itself? What are things that you have bought that you say to yourself, I don't think I needed that. I didn't need that. Or, man, I was a totally different person back then. This is not match who I am. Oh, excuse me. My throat is sore. A lot of times, a lot of the things we get involved with when it comes to the industry is mainly because they get us when we're little. I remember in college, I used to want to have basketball jerseys a lot, and I was really into basketball cards and all that stuff. And then I got older, and I just kind of thought, I don't know, I'm just saying what it is. Buying a Michael Jordan jersey, and then a Vince Carter jersey, and then a Tracy McGrady jersey, and then a LeBron jersey. It's like, man, bro, you look kind of corny because you got all these jerseys for these guys, and they're accomplishing things that you refuse to accomplish and everything like that. It just, for me, it just stopped looking good. It stopped feeling good. And it's just like, the way the NBA is too, I mean, half of it's kind of rigged anyway, but I try to be on the right side of the rig for my bets, I just grew out of it. I grew out of having certain hairstyles, like you see Paul here. I didn't have the black version of that exactly, but I did have the fade on all the sides with the curly hair on top. I used to wear jorts. What else did I do fashion wise? I still like joggers now. Joggers would never go out of style. Those are indispensable. I used to smoke weed a whole lot too. I used to say I would smoke in my raps a whole lot. It was so cringy. I even said one time having a thick ass wife and a mixed baby. Like, that's just weird. Like, why am I just trying that? Why can't I just have a wife and a baby? Why it's gotta be a thick wife and a mixed baby? You just grow all of these things, and that's how most people escape the trap of the industry. But unfortunately, some of us don't. And a lot of people you can tell haven't escaped the trap are the ones like, people who are obsessed with designer. Like, I know this one person, they're always talking about having designer this, designer that, Dior this, and a Benz this, and oh, you didn't get a diamond ring, and blah blah. And it's just like, damn, man, you talking all about this stuff, but you're kind of clueless, and of course I have to do my genealogy too, but it's like you're clueless on your people. You don't even know what tribe you come from in this country. because we all come from a tribe somewhere, and a lot of us, quote unquote, African Americans are actually Native Americans ourselves, but we don't understand that. A lot of people are out here thinking about the wrong stuff because they can't get over the idea of industry. The industry makes us forget that we are people who have been here for centuries. We are people created by Yahweh, right? They can't have us remember that, because when we remember that, then we're going to start doing stuff like, all of us, let's do what we can to have a community where we can grow our own food. Let's do what we can. We can have communities where we grow our own genes. I mean, indigo, blue dye stuff, you can grow that stuff. You can make your genes. Making leathers, and essentially, you need animals for that, like cows and stuff like that. Make your own leather products. People are going to literally go out here and use the wood and iron, the ore. Like, if we remember who we truly are, and why does it look like, is that a devil? Stay still, buddy. Keep jumping. I think that's a devil in the back. That's funny. Demon head. That's a box head. Wasn't that surprising? I will talk about that. But if we discover our true selves, we will also remember that nature can provide us. It does provide us with stuff. It provides us with everything, bro. Provides us with clothing. Provides us with shelter. Provisions for weapons. Provides us with food. But think about it though. Nature provides you clothing. Nature provides you the tools to make the clothes. We live in a society where now everybody clamors to have an Apple Vision because they want to live in Ready Player One, where nothing is real. Because due to the idea of industry, I did not know. Well, that was a weird move. Due to the idea of industry, everybody wants to live in this fake digital realm because nobody likes the real anymore. Because the real does take work. It takes work to stitch your own clothes together. It takes work to make your own dang video game. I know that's not even real, but still, it's the indie genre of games needs to support, so we can stop giving our games to Ubisoft. But it takes work to make things as Yahweh designed. Because think about it, if it takes Yahweh work to create us, then by God, it's gonna take us work to create the things we need as well. And that's just the natural progression of things. That's how things are supposed to be. Man, I've never done most of these moves in my life till now, just messing around talking. Man, I need a blunt so I can do even more crazy stuff. But anyways, to close this out, man, I want you guys to all remember that you've been here for a long time through your ancestors. You have millions, possibly billions of ancestors out there too. We all come from one source. And this one source has provided one earth for us. Because we got to remember this. They keep trying to go into space. They keep trying to find aliens in space. But if you think about it, bro, does the earth not already provide us with every single resource we need? I listed it already. The earth gives us food. The earth gives us water. The earth gives us shelter. The earth gives us clothing. And for some of us that need it, the earth even gives us weapons. The earth basically gives us our life. The earth is life itself personified through Yah's intuition. Because, bro, you gotta think about it. Basically, there's nothing that comes out the earth that isn't alive. Even the rocks and stones, they may not be, I guess, technically themselves organisms, but more so since they're attached to the earth, which in my opinion is an organism of a kind. They're attached to one at the very least, and they have organisms within them and on them. Made all that matter, because it all matters. So you gotta remember that. And when you do remember that and you buy into that, right, when you take advantage of that and you get out the psychosis that is the idea of the industry, you'll notice that you can improve your life in ways that people now very few can. You can reduce your financial load with the things they want you to buy. You can, you can greatly improve your health, going against the drugs they want you to take. Even with things like school, personally, The way forward is, the way the school system is here, I'm going to keep my daughter out of school as best I can. I'd rather homeschool her and teach her things myself, because I feel like when children are children, that's the time where you could teach them pretty much most of what they would need to know as kids in general things, the easiest, like 1, 2, 3's, ABCs, multiplications, and, animals, plants, good bit of world history. It's easy to teach kids all the stuff that they teach them in school. When they get a little older and they're teenagers, okay, it's a bit more complex than that. And then I'll give her the choice if she'd like to go to private school or not. But for the most part, I'm going to do it myself. And it's going to save me money in the long term too. But now I'm just rambling. I want you guys to really think about the kind of changes you can make in your life, and think about, what you can do yourself to give you the things you want, because ultimately that's what it's about. The idea of industry goes back to the industry wanting to keep you dependent on them. So think about ways that they trick you to be dependent, and break that dependence any way you can. You do that, you're going to save a lot of money, you're going to save a lot of heartache, you're also going to save a lot of time, you're going to be happier in general and healthier than Paul is right now. But I'll see you guys later.